got two logos in here? Bojax! Oh! Kirsten just pulled a Bojax! Thank you very much!
Oh! Dartboard! Gonna go with a banger, and that's the case it, and he's my giant. I gotta save the clip. Give me this.
The morning light is rising, and the breakers
Logo!
start
Is that
to
unanimous? Bro, is that an...
Thanks for the
Oh, really?
community
Bro, this freaking box!
Lady Kirsten full team.
keeps it steady, and Anthony brings the heat. It's a battlefield, and Sylvie drives the beat.
Hold on.
Battle breakers brings us, powered by Radish Digital. They pull the hits, they chase the dreams, and they stand up.
Oh, no! Bojax!
And we're marching moves, the moments steal the night.
Here it is. It's gonna go home rolling, shiny roll.
They fight the
Ooh,
good
got
fight.
Feel it.
Fire!
Mainly Breaks is rolling strong.
We got a logo! We got a logo!
Pushing on.
Big Poppy! Still logo! There you go!
Harry Golden Bullet,
Battle breakers,
Ice logo.
powered by Radish Digital.
Oh wow, 185.
Chase the dreams,
185 Ice logo. Who could this be? Cruise Control under Ice logo. Look at that car.
defenders of war. They fight the good fight.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning,
Jax.
Snappy. It's Good Morning, Bo.
Hey, it's easy to remember for you, isn't it?
This one's pretty easy to remember. How you doing?
Good, good. You know, you and before we went live, we were talking about what we're going to talk about on the show today. A lot of things we got to get to, including great charity work by one of the regular panelists on Good Morning Bo, Anthony Cursive. And you said, "Hey, don't we want to lead off with that?" And my response to you to start off the show talking about Bojax and Battle Arena, talking about charity was,
People hate charity, and no one wants to listen to that first
I
thing in the
didn't-
morning.
I did say they hate charity. By the way, Bo Jackson, who like I love all the clips like of him doing charitable things, and then here we are like go talk about charity first. But
Yeah,
you got to
he
admit,
spent
when
his
that-
whole day yesterday talking
Hey,
about.
yes. Well, we actually that's great. We can talk about that again, but again, not at the beginning. And but the show started with, of course, we show highlights from the panelists on the show. And the 1st highlight, do you remember what the first highlight is we played when the show went live?
Wait, this show right now?
Yeah, right now, just now, a minute ago. Do you
The
remember?
first clip was.
clip?
It was a bow.
Yeah,
Was it
okay,
the
that's-
Logo Man bow?
That's all you have to say. You remember what it was. You don't
Yeah.
remember. You are a goldfish and don't remember anything. The fact that you remember it was a bow. So what did I do? Did I start with a charity rip? No, I started with a bow rip at the beginning of the show. Why? Because people are going to watch now because they just saw a bow get hit and they're like, what is this? I want to know more about it. So you want to know what?
Show me more.
Let's bring up the people. And of course, we've got Cursive, Anthony, Cursive Breaks, Anthony, who ripped that one. He'll talk to us about charity. And then we also have Seth, mainly Breaks, who's burning the midnight oil. He was recording last night till midnight, new episodes of What's It Worth. And then we also have Mr. Hop, Eric, the Card Society, who you know with the best singles show on Whatnot. Oh, I didn't mean to throw an arrow across the bow there for anyone else. I'm teasing. I know Eric's been doing that single show for a while. All right. Gentlemen are here, Tex.
How are you, boys?
Great.
It's happening.
Glad it's
Doing
Friday.
well. Morning, everyone. Morning.
Excellent.
Nice to see
Excellent. Well, let's get right into it. Do we think that blasters are the new hobby? Seeing as how blasters are pretty much the only thing you can find in stores, if you can find them. And hobby boxes are now approaching $700 a piece. Jumbos are way up at $3,300, $3,500. So that blasters become the new hobby.
So I think if you go on Whatnot and you see the sheer numbers of people breaking Bojax and Battle Arena, you would think so by the amount of people, labeling their show as affordable break, and it's like 5 blasters. On a personal note, to take it a little more serious, I love blasters. If I can grab them, I think that's something that I typically would let my kids open. And then obviously dad has to come in and take any cards worth over a certain dollar amount if anything gets hit. But I think they're great rips on the entry level retail. Don't typically buy into breaks with just blasters, but I do think they're great just being out in the wild.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to have them out and about. And I like them too. They're a fun little rip. But Eric, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not typically a fan of retail products with sports cards in general. I like to stick to hobby. I do think they have a place, absolutely. People who are looking to rip cards, certainly a more affordable option than ripping hobby boxes. Just you got to wait a little bit longer to get the payoff with that, and maybe rip 10 to 15 of them versus 1 or 2 of the hobby boxes. So I am not a big fan of blasters and breaks either. I think that personal rips, that's great, but you got to get a whole lot of volume of blasters for a break to really get that payoff, or get some of those featured heroes that everybody wants to see pour out. And also Card Shark Sniper, I want a rematch. I'm still bitter about that loss. Let's play today, baby. I got my deck. Let's roll.
The gauntlet has been thrown down.
Yeah.
What would, for newer members to the Bo Jackson Battle Arena community? Sorry guys, I was going through the comments. You might have mentioned it, but can we just address that one break that took place? What was it? Was it one blaster and it was a hero break?
A single hero blaster break. Yep.
Single hero
remember
blaster.
Good money.
And
Is
so
that a real thing?
Anthony,
Yeah,
can you
it is.
Seth,
$100.
did you not hear about it, Seth?
I don't recall. No. When
right.
was that?
So Anthony, can you explain what a single hero blaster break is?
So I think it was almost about a month ago now. A random person on Whatnot that typically doesn't do boba got a single blaster, 6 packs, and did a single hero. I believe it was a random hero break. So single hero means every single person in the set gets a spot. So it was 134 spots. They opened 6 packs, which would, 36 actual heroes would have been ripped there. And some of the spots were going for like $5, $6, $7. Obviously, most of them for $1 or $2. But those odds just aren't what we, typically would want to see on the buyer or the breaker end. But it was a good topic of conversation that day and for at least a few days after. And I think even Frenchie came and commented on that. Is that typically not what he would like to see on a break? So.
I generally like to believe the good in people, but that just kind of sounds deceptive. Like when you're creating a hero break and you know that you only have 6 packs and you're going to have 130 odd spots, that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. That's to put it nicely.
Doesn't make sense either, because you got to ship packages to everyone who buys a spot. So why do you want to even go through the exercise of shipping over 100 empty envelopes to people?
Also true.
Just a lot of ways.
I want to know who are the people that bought into this and thought this was a good break to get into.
Not B-Jams.
Whatnot.
Yeah, definitely not B-Jams.
Yeah, but you want to know what's funny? It's kind of like a car wreck, guys. We can say like, oh, it shouldn't be done. It's deceptive, or you're not going to get anything. But look at this, B-Jams, one of the biggest members of the community goes, I saw that break. You're missing the point, right? He saw it and he watched it, which is crazy. Yeah. But like, there is a little car wreck element to it, right? Now, do you think B-Jams would watch 5 of these in his lifetime? No, but he'll watch 1.
Well, maybe that was his goal, like to the absurdity and get people eyes on his channel. Like, I don't know. I'm going back to what I said. That's kind of ridiculous, and I hope I never see it again.
Is this guy still an active breaker? Do we know?
I haven't seen him do another Bo Jackson break, but I believe he does do other sports cards.
Interesting.
So blasters are like this weirdly polarizing thing. I feel like those who hit anything halfway decent are the champions for blasters. And if someone's like ripped, let's say half a case and really didn't get anything that they thought was worthwhile, for them, it stinks. And I think they get an unfair rap because of that, because I think Elevate Wrestling, shout out to my boy. That's actually my brother, Kyle. He said they have the headlines, and that's the only product you can get them. And headlines it's a great looking insert. And I think I like to add a blaster or two to my breaks, not necessarily for the monster hits that are at a retail because they're not as many as hobby, obviously, but just to get the mix of the headlines because people do like collecting those. Good looking card, and they're fun to have a part of your break.
Yeah, definitely. It's very good.
And by the way, Tex, one question I had for
yeah.
Eric, he said he doesn't like to pull retail product. But Eric, let me ask you this personally for yourself. Do you like to pull it for yourself? You don't like to, understandably, why you don't pull it for your breaks. But for you, if you walk into Dick's, you see the blaster, do you feel compelled to buy it? Or because you've ripped so much product, you're just like, listen, I'm used to straight heroin. I can't use this like diluted heroin.
Yeah, I need it. I need it injected into my veins. I need the payoff. If I'm going to go for that, the rip, if I want to scratch the itch, I'm going to spend the extra money. I'm going to get a booster box or a hobby box, one of the two. I feel like an Alpha Update, the collector booster box was sort of in the middle of a retail and a hobby product. It was like a hybrid, a little more affordable than a hobby. And I understand not everyone can lay down $700 for a hobby box nowadays. But that's where the pre-orders come in, right? Make sure you get involved with those pre-sales so that you get those hobby boxes early. Or for you old school guys who have the geeks, being able to get those allocations is important. But for me, I would much rather spend the extra money, get a hobby box, have that guaranteed auto, know that I'm going to at least see one more featured, maybe 3 or 4, versus, spending $200 on 4 blasters. And you might end up with just a few headliners and that's kind of it. So that's my take on it.
Hey,
So
and
2 quick notes. So I was going to say, so we did have a case break of blasters and update from a newer streamer, and they hit the Midas, I believe, Midas 1 of 1 super. So
wow.
I think if it's like a case break, it's 32
Wow.
blasters. All right. I might get in a 32 blaster break. Right. But to correct Eric real quick. So I was on the assumption as well. In a hobby box, there is not a second guaranteed featured hero. It is guaranteed not guaranteed. It is on average that there's a second one. So I've broken hobby boxes that have just the auto and then no other featured heroes. It is not guaranteed. Now, in that box, I did pull a Pink Hex 1 of 1 of a base hero, so no complaints. But I did learn that because it was like, hey, guys, I did go to the team and say, hey, I didn't get a second one. And they're like, it's on average. So most do, but it's not necessarily guaranteed.
Well, we just saw your highlights. You pulled 2 Bojacks and a Fire Lino in the same week. That's surpassed my whole month.
Right. Well, we're talking. Somebody made the post the other day and was like, "What would you rather have if it was $500 MSRP, $5 hobby, 5 double megas, or 10 blasters?" And
wait, hold on, Cursive. I wasn't following that. What's the question again?
Somebody made a post and it was like, "What would you rather have if it was around MSRP? Would you have 1 $500 hobby, 5 $100 double megas, or 10 $50 blasters?" And I might have leaned double megas before my recent breaks, but my hobbies recently have been ridiculous. So I'm on the hobby side.
By the way, we've got Cody saying, love ripping retail with my kids. They feel like it's a big deal, which is a great point. Again, Bojacks and Battle Arena will never be the cheapest product. It'll be the best value. It's definitely accessible. It's not going to be your elite tops product that people can't get. But conversely, it's not in the bargain bin. It's just great value, but it's accessible for the kids. He said they feel like it's a big deal. 1 out of 50 Tigre Ice Auto pulled out of a blaster by my 12-year-old. SKUs for everyone, which is great. Tex, of course, Anthony's sitting there talking about the hobby boxes, and there was talk before the Griffey set that there would either be a guaranteed auto or a case hit. And so they originally, right, that's what was going to be in there. And so something's happened and it's now a guaranteed auto and a case hit sometimes. So Tex, what do you think about that going forward to the future, though, if they change that where the hobby box is no longer a guaranteed auto, but it might be a case hit instead? Would you be excited at that, disappointed, indifferent?
I think initially I'd be a little disappointed because I think everybody likes to pull an auto. everybody likes to know that, it's an expensive product, or at least, maybe not so much at release, but, we know this is a hard product to find. It's a hard product to keep in stock. It sells immediately. And, the prices on secondary go up exponentially. So, but I think, if you're going to spend serious money on it, I think, at least knowing you have a shot at recouping, at least a majority of your money hitting that auto is pretty good. Where I don't think, like, case hits bring nice money, but there's definitely a difference between, a case hit and an auto. I think people always look to the, auto first before they, look at that case hit.
Panel, do you guys have any thoughts about what Tex said? I want to respond to him too, but I'll let you guys go first.
So Tex, I agree with you a little bit. I think the sentiment has shifted. So I remember and Alpha and Alpha Update, the consensus and feel of the community was people preferred for instance, an orange battle foil as opposed to the Fire Auto. And I verified that just with my sales. So like if I sold an Emron Ross St. Brown Fire Auto and the orange battle foil went, I just sold it for more. And that shifted now. And we were talking about this recently the other day because I was just want to know if it was my observation or was the pulse of the current state of what the collectors and players prefer. But to your point, now it's shifted back to where generally autos I see are demanding a little bit higher prices and more collectability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone else?
It's hard. So autos for me kind of go up and down. They go in waves. So there's times where autos kind of skyrocket, and there's times where they just fall flat. But everything else, I think, is pretty consistent. So it just depends, I guess, with the market. If that's what it is, there's a boba market, and the boba market definitely has its highs and its lows. And it's up to us, especially people who do breaks and do single shows, to kind of watch that as far as when to buy lots or buy product and when to sell it.
How do you think case hits are received in the community and everything? Do you think people are starting to value case hits over autographs in some cases?
I think Eric made a good comment about case hits. But I think the difference for me is realizing there's case hits in hobby stuff and there's case hits in retail. And I think a lot of people were excited for case hits in retail until they realized, like, man, retail really got printed quite a bit more than we're used to. So it took a little bit of that steam away from the case hits in retail. But I think for hobby, I think case hits still feel great. But it's just a numbers thing.
I'm just curious, Eric, is that you break, of course, you've told us about how you break a lot of other product besides Bo Battle Arena. Is that, I'm not sure with hobby, how frequently do they have a guaranteed auto? Is that universal? Is it sometimes for other big cardboard?
It's pretty universal these days. The thing though with Topps Panini products and their autos, and Quick makes a good point, there's a lot of sticker autos. You don't have as much on-card autos anymore. We used to back in the day. There are some higher end products with on-card autos, but you're going to pay quite a bit for those breaks and those products. It's also, there's a lot of bad athletes in these products. I mean, Topps Chrome Baseball came out. There was 197 signers in that product. 60 of them, I think, were relief pitchers. And there was maybe like 30 or so that played less than one inning of professional baseball. So you're getting, just dumped less than five. I mean, these cards are worth less than $5, right? And it's considered a chase hit. Where I think with Boba, like, there's a very, very high floor with an auto. Even a brawl auto or a steel auto, doesn't really matter who the hero is. You're still going to have built-in value into that card, not only the playability, but the collectability of that athlete. So, I definitely think that Battle Arena is way different than, what's going on in that world. And case hits it's starting to drive everything. Downtowns, Kabooms, Panini had some really, really good artwork with their case hits. And that's what people were chasing in breaks, is they wanted to rip Optic or Prism, chasing some of the case hits over the autos. Whereas with Battle Arena, I think you're looking more for the autos and the higher power cards versus necessarily, you know, a case hit like a Slime, you know, King Tuck or somebody like that.
Yeah. I love, thank you for that perspective, Eric. That really helps though to look at everything else, because honestly, with the big cardboard, I keep looking at my other big cardboard product. And I can't remember who it is. There's a few people like, I've sold everything else. And it's funny because I got to get rid of my other product. Like I just don't, it's funny. Even my sealed big cardboard, I don't like looking at it anymore. I don't want it here. Just because I'm like, I don't want to tie it up. Tex, you had mentioned when we first started talking about this topic, you talked about, you know, with the hobby box prices, the way they escalate, the further we get away from release and it doesn't become available, it's expensive. So people want that auto. I guess the other side of the coin is you could say maybe that product doesn't escalate as much in price if you don't have the guaranteed auto. So again, Bo Jackson Battle Arena doesn't make any money off the secondary. So maybe this is a way to get it into the hands of more people, because it's not going to go up higher and rip more product. Because we all know Jeff French, he's a collector and he has plenty of sealed stuff himself, but he likes to rip a lot of stuff and he wants people to rip his product. So he does a couple things. He does things all the time to get people to rip. And like, for instance, there are a lot of Blast products that are out there, and he announced a Blast tournament. He did that. Let's be honest, guys. He did that because one, he wants there to be value in holding Blast cards, but two, he wants you to rip them. It's the same reason for the foil dogs that come out of the championship boxes. Those get used in the tournaments. He wants you to rip the packs. So I'm not saying this is what Bo Battle and Jeff French are trying to do, but it would be one way to bring it down. But I agree with you guys. It's very hard. You know, when you've been in Bo Battle Arena as much as the five of us on stage have been, it's hard to change. Change is bad for every human being. And it's funny because when the next wave comes up, they don't know what they're missing. Right. That's the reason why we complain and tell our kids it's not like it was in the old days. But I agree with you. I mean, I love how it is. And clearly the way the comments are coming up is that folks agree with you guys on the stage. They want to see these stay because they love the on-card autos. And great job, Eric, pointing out what Quick was saying. And the other comments we have here is, let's see. Settler says, I'm PCing the Escape Artist, and it's really hard with Headliner because they are only in blasters. I've only seen one huge blaster break on Whatnot. The next one is Pegasus. He says, Eric brings up the best point for switching out of regular sports cards to Boba. What are the big chases? Big Kahuna, Downtown, Manga, Kaboom. All Boba cards have better artwork and are nicer. All right, and then we get to the question text. Card Shark Sniper says, do you think the autograph values in Griffey are up or down compared to Alpha and Update? I've seen a lot of sales of autos from Griffey set that are lower than the previous releases. So Tex.
I think that Alpha set is always gonna bring higher prices because it's. You okay?
Sorry.
It's fine. I didn't know if you were like breaking my nuts to interrupt me here.
Yeah, for people to.
Hi, never mind.
Yeah, I'm in New England. It's winter. I've got the cold.
Oh yeah.
So what was I saying? I think that you
Alpha
got me
update
off my
auto.
train of thought completely.
Auto comparisons. Griffey.
That's between now and then. I think update or the Alpha product is always going to bring higher prices because it's the first product. It's more the print run was a little smaller than even the Griffey print run. And, you know, it's the first edition of everything. So I think those autos are always going to bring a premium. What do you guys think?
I think it depends on the hero, the power, all of that. I'm seeing some out, you know, single shows, you kind of get a good pulse of where people's minds are at because it's in the moment. I mean, it's as real time as it gets, you know, and so you see prices fluctuate. You know, there were certain athletes, certain heroes that you would run in a single show a few months ago, and they wouldn't get a lot of love. And now you hear 5 people request that name in a stream. More people looking for brawls, more people looking for linos, more people looking for blasts now. A lot of the national tournament announcements, I think, impacted what people are chasing as well. But with Griffey, there's still a lot of newness to it. So some of those cards haven't all been discovered. And so you're pulling singles out that don't have comps, or you're pulling singles out that people haven't even seen before. So there's still a lot of excitement around the pricing of that. And I think over time, some of that will drop and will even out towards alpha update. But there's some alpha update cards that you just don't see pop up too often. And I think to Tex's point, when those do pop up, people will clamor after them because they know how much more rare they are than the Griffey set stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, Seth. Go ahead.
I was going to agree with Eric for the most part. I'll say that I think there's probably, it's definitely hero dependent. That drives a lot of the sale data for the hero. But I will say I think alpha has a higher floor. So let's say that, I don't want to say less desirable, but we'll say ones that typically sell for a little bit lower premium than others. That floor is higher for alpha now, just be the rarity. We just don't see them quite as often as it is now with Griffey.
Yeah, I think a lot of because it was such a smaller community during alpha too, I think a lot of people, it's just like the hardcore people that have been in this from the beginning. I think they've, stashed a lot of those autos from alpha too, and they've PC'd them or they're just sitting on them, so I think that's, you don't see a lot of them out there for sale. You don't see a lot of them come up. And I think that's part of the reason. Like, I know I'm still sitting on just about all mine, my stuff that, the bigger hits that I had pulled and stuff that I either use in a deck or I just, are in my PC. Do you guys, think that's a factor in it too?
I mean, I think you made two really good points, right? Is you have stuff that's for your PC, but it's not necessarily PC of like a certain hero. It's PC because it goes in a deck, right? And then we also talked about when Nationals gets announced and the format for the tournaments get announced, you will see an increase on certain types depending on what they do. And I think that's one from not only the team strategy, but for us as breakers or someone who does single shows, that's great to see a little bit of bump in sales or demand for certain things. So, I mean, I definitely appreciate when those get, announced. One, as a player, maybe going to go grab some, usually trade, but as someone who does some single sales, it was like, oh, hey, I'm going to run a bunch of brawls this week because they just announced a brawl only tournament. So a lot of the market fluctuation depends on playability, which just lets you know that a lot of people do really enjoy playing this game. It's just not the collector aspect. Playing is really still the forefront of what drives prices, I think.
Very good. Did you guys find? Oh,
hey,
go
wait,
ahead,
Tex,
Slappy.
So Tex, I just want to address the Card Shark Sniper, his comment. First, I just want to bring the gorilla up on the stage and just remind everyone.
Got boba cards? Don't guess the price. Look up their value now at radishpriceguide.com.
All right. And so
does he have a name? Does the ape have a name?
Does the ape have a name? It's Tex
Hooper. Bo-rilla.
Gorilla.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh my God.
Brilliant.
That is awesome.
That's the show for today. We're not going to do any better than that. We'll see everybody next week.
So I just want to share. So Card Shark Sniper said, do you think the auto values in Griffey are up or down compared to Alpha and Update? I've seen a lot of sales of autos from Griffey set that are lower than the previous releases. Now, I'll be honest, I have not, I haven't gone through and checked on this. So I just was doing it while we were talking about it, because Big Rob has created these dynamic sales reports at radishpriceguide.com. So if you go to Radish Price Guide, go along the top on the menu bar if you're on desktop, or the menu bar if you're on mobile, and you can see there's a header called Sales Report. There's a drop down. It says Weekly Sales Report and Dynamic Sales Report. You can get an idea for just how much boba is going across eBay. But with the Dynamic Sales Report, I went ahead. I did it by Alpha Edition. I did Inspired Ink. Battle foil, there's different autos, but let's just go with the standard Inspired Ink. And then what I did is I did it by monthly, and I did a line chart. So you can go down here and you can take a look by month how it's been going. And of course, folks have noticed the downward trend in all prices for the singles, and it's showing up here. I mean, you can see this cliff. excuse me, for the alpha autos, where it's down around, it looks like $67.50. That would be the average so far in February, and that's down from $203. And again, like, how many sales are there? We can click on it. There's a total of 591 sales as part of this data. But then if we go ahead and we take a look at, let's switch it over to the Griffey set. And let's see, if we go to Griffey, and of course that has not been around that long. That's only been around since Thanksgiving. And so now we're looking at an average of $125 is what the autos are going for. And that's interesting. I would say the reason why the average for February for Griffey is higher than the alpha is because the high-end cards are finding their permanent homes, right? So with the alpha edition autos, the only cards still out there are the ones people are willing to trade around. They're just getting around to moving them, whatever reason there is. But with the Griffey, you still have somebody brand new who hits a really great card, and they go ahead and they put it out there on auction, and it's getting the value. So those banger autos are still finding homes this early in the Griffey set. I don't know if you guys want to comment, but anyway, I wanted to let Card Shark Sniper and everybody know you can head to radishpriceguide.com. If you're a data person, go to that sales report and go ahead and check that out.
Use the code TexHooper to receive 1 free month.
Oh, geez. Like, I hope Rob's watching, because he's going to activate that.
He's going to have to make that now.
Start coding.
There's only 10 of those available. So the first 10 people that use code TexHooper on Radish Digital get a free month of the price guide.
Okay. So just to let you know, is that for everybody watching this, we're broadcasting. This is Good Morning Bo. We're here, Slappy White, TexHooper, Mainly Breaks, Cursive Breaks, Mr. Hobbs, Card Society. We're talking about Bo Jackson Battle Arena. And right now we're talking about the Radish Price Guide, which scrapes all the eBay sales, the final sale price, not the listed sale price. And you can go ahead, you can look at reports, all of that, there's no charge. But there is, what TexHooper is talking about is we've created a collection where you can track the value of your collection based on eBay sales. And so you can go ahead, connect through your Google account, so you don't have to have another password. And if you upgrade to the premium, which is, it's $5 a month, you can upload 1,000 cards, 200 cards, however many cards you have, and you can track that over time. But I will talk to Rob. And so for folks watching this live, give us a little bit of time. We'll activate 1 month, no cost. Just put in TexHooper, TEX.
It's already activated.
You talked to Rob already?
Rob and I, we do stuff without you sometimes, Slappy.
Wow. Wow.
You're a big wheel here, but you're not the biggest wheel.
I'm not. Hey, let's not be self-important, but I am the producer. It would help if I actually knew what was going on. But all right.
Man, making moves.
What Rob doesn't tell you, Rob doesn't tell you. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, anyway, those sales reports. If anybody hasn't been there, take a look at that. And go ahead and use TexHooper. Apparently, Tex is in the know. He knows it.
Use the code, people.
All right. So, Tex, getting back to that, the auto difference between Alpha and Griffey, which is funny. Card Shark Sniper said, seems like they're down. And first blush, I was thinking he was right. Then you look at the data and you're like, no, the data is showing actually that's not true. So I'm curious what the panel thinks about that.
I agree with the data. Can't argue with numbers.
Can't argue what the numbers show. I will say, I agree with you, Eric. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you there. But the only thing I will add is my guess is that there were a couple of bigger sales that are making the data show that. But without looking at them one by one, maybe I'm wrong. And maybe I've been wrong all this time. And I'm happy to be like, I was wrong.
I mean, I think that happens, right? There's definitely sales that are like, someone got a super cheap deal and the card sells for way less than it should. And then there's once in a while that someone's piecing something and they're willing to pay a lot more. So it does change those numbers, right? I imagine you'd have to sell a certain amount of cards to get a good average. So if you're only selling 1 or 2, that's not going to give you a great baseline. So something I think to notate.
I have a question for you guys. When you're breaking, do you find that, is there a specific card, an autograph card that you see people tend to go for that surprises you? And conversely, is there an auto in the set that you think should do better than it does in the breaks?
So I'll mention something and I'll touch base on two things real quick. So something that I've noticed from my wife as well is that people will go after autos that are really nice looking autos. They'll have like a premium, be like, oh, like this person took their time. This is a beautiful looking auto. Dennis Eckersley is one of them in this set. Is it Rolly Fingers also has a really good auto? And,
Yeah.
and I think those people are like, man, like that just looks so much better than some of the other autos in the set. And she made the comment because she did some handwritten notes recently. She was like, now I know why the on-car autos are on demand, because people really have to take their time and write them, and it's a lot. And so you do appreciate when someone's taking their time and their auto is just a beautiful looking auto, and it just really sets the card off.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Anthony, that's a good point. And in addition to that, I really do believe that most of the athletes, they take their time with Bo Jackson Battle Arena. So if you compare them to other sticker autos, it's 9 times out of 10, I think it's just a little bit nicer when they're signing for Boba. Maybe that's made up in my head, but I'm gonna stand by that statement. Yeah, so it's interesting about what makes it collectible. There are some that surprise me, and I think card art also has to do with it. For instance, Dante Hall. Like, unless you're a hardcore football fan, you may not know who Dante Hall is, but his cards continue to sell well. It's because it's got that crazy cool little guy that changes between fire and ice and brawl, and it's people love it. I'm in that camp too. I think it's a great card.
Yeah,
Eric, did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. Dante Hall, and then Santa Moss is the other one. He's relatively low power number level, and Santana Moss, good receiver, but I don't, think he's up there in terms of the ultimate legends. But the artwork on that card is amazing. Absolutely beautiful card. It looks great in all the different weapon types. And so you get a little bit of a premium on that, and he sells a lot higher than some of the other people that are Hall of Fame athletes with an on-card auto. I think the penmanship overall across the board is incredible. The whole set, all of them. You want to talk again about Panini and Topps products? You pull some of those autos, and it is literally one letter. John Morant, I think, started signing his autograph as like a little circle. You can't tell what the name is. These guys took their time. You can tell full name. Bernie Williams has an inscription on all his autos too, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, what is that inscription? Is it SD6?
I've been trying to figure that out this whole time.
Yeah.
If anybody knows, that would be great.
Slappy, do you know? Considering that's your card.
The subtle flex.
Oh, where'd he go?
He's on mute on the bottom.
That's so beautiful, Slap.
Oh, actually, yeah,
the card in the corner.
Yeah, I actually, while I saw the Quicks comment that Keith Hernandez and Bernie Williams autos are beautiful, I went and grabbed it. Ever since I ripped it, I haven't been able to sort it and take care of it the right way. And so I haven't even taken a picture of it. But after he said that, yeah, I mean, when I pulled this, it was like an auto pen did this autograph. It's insane. So I actually haven't taken the time just to sit down and look at it, but I'm trying to think of
what the SD6 would be.
I mean, 96 was their first World Series is my only thought is like, maybe he's such a beautiful handwriting. Like, why would this part be a little bit hard to understand? But is there a 96 in there? Because his first World Series? I'm not sure.
There's definitely a 6, it appears, but
he was number 20, right? Wasn't he 20? It's not his number.
Yeah, I don't think it's his number.
No, because the 2, it looks like an S.
Yeah, there was
maybe
one
a
that looked
J?
like a 56, but I don't think that's it either.
No, you want to know what? It wasn't 20. I can't believe I'm forgetting that. It's 51. As soon as I say that, Seth, you're going to be like, yeah, of course, 51. I can't believe I forgot.
Oh,
somebody asked you about
Please,
Keith
come on,
Hernandez.
Yankee fans.
I know.
Real
Just
quick.
early in the morning.
In our defense, I tell baseball fans all the time is that when you have as many retired numbers as Yankees, it is very hard to remember all the numbers.
Thank you for coming to my rescue, Slappy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, and it's also we're just on the fly trying to do that. I'll go ahead and
Scott,
take a look.
did you see that, Scott?
What's that?
The Keith Hernandez auto that Quick was
Oh
talking
yeah,
about.
let me
as well.
put you up there.
Also
Yeah,
beautiful.
and the artwork on those
Oh, wait,
cards are great
Hold
too.
on 1 second, and I'll put you up.
Hi.
Yeah,
So I think
look,
it's
look at that.
flipped around,
It
but
looks like he put it like he had it
under
on
a
a.
roller, right?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so good.
beautiful,
That man
beautiful.
signed a time or two.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Is there an autograph? Somebody, is there a signer you guys
Hey,
think
and
has a
Anthony, can you hold
spectacular
it in
autograph
front
that
of you?
isn't in Griffey or that hasn't been
You
in
want
Bo
me to
Jackson
convert?
yet?
Hold on, let me see real quick. Give me 2 seconds.
Tex, I didn't catch that question.
I was just, is there an autograph signer that's not in Bo Jackson that you would like to see in Bo Jackson that has a beautiful signature? Like I think of Scottie Pippen. I love Scottie Pippen's signature. It's a great signature. It's pretty much exactly the same every time. It's changed very little over the years. Is there anything like that you guys can think of off the top of your head?
That's a really good question. I'm trying to think of some autos. Oh,
Jordan. Nothing better than a
Jordan's good.
Jordan auto.
yeah.
True.
Wishful thinking, but maybe
Gretzky too has a nice auto.
Griffey
Yeah.
has one of the best, I think, ever. Putting that in there was huge. Griffey's auto is
Oh.
insane. It's like,
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Do you know who I really like for modern players? I think he's been pretty consistent. I also like him as a player and hero. I've always liked Bryce Harper's. So because he hasn't, he's still, it's maybe a little bit shortened a little bit over the years, but not to the point where it's just like his initials. So I still really like it, and I like Bryce. So maybe Bryce, I'd say.
Hey, Tex, did you hit that comment from Card Shark Sniper where he said, I think sometimes Whatnot also changes how autos are looked at. Do you think that a single show sell on Whatnot changes how much people will pay from a single from eBay? And he said not just autos, but all cards. So I think what Card Shark's trying to get at is in terms of the valuation that you'll pay. I know that like I saw a unanimous Sandman going on Big U's break, and I can't remember where it settled. It was a banger, but it was like $200-$300, $330 maybe. And it's funny because when we were recording what's it worth, Bo Jackson Battle Arena, we had a unanimous Sandman that came up, and I'm trying to think, maybe it was Coliseum, but Power 180. I mean, it's the greatest reliever to ever live. It's Yankees, which there are fans everywhere, Power 180. And, you know, the panel had to say it's a $115 card. And the reality is there was a sale that just took place this week with 25 bids, and it came in at $112. So it's not like it was a steal and nobody was watching it. I mean, it makes me sick to think that the Sandman is only getting 112 after 20 bids. So, you know, sometimes with Whatnot is that people are excited and it's the thrill of live bidding, right? The person's in the chat with you. Whereas when you're on eBay, you're just checking your computer to see if you've been, you know, your max bid. So I guess, Seth, you were nodding your head. What are your thoughts about what Card Shark said?
No, I appreciate Braz bringing that up. And I've thought about this a lot, and I have, here's my take on it. I think over time, we're going to see it flip again. I think people don't really understand the rarity of some of these cards that they're paying those amounts for. For instance, here's a good example. Like we all know the Grillin' and Chillin' featured. They're like way too low. I think it doesn't matter who it is. You know, they're up 25, right? So that's
I agree with that.
That's half the amount of a Fire and Ice auto. Now you can't. There's in no world where you think there's a Mariano Rivera Grillin' that sold as high as a Mariano Rivera Fire auto. So as we get more people that are newer and they understand the rarity and the collectability, and yeah, Cursive, I'm with you. There is playability there too with those power numbers. That gap's gonna tighten up, and I think at some point it'll surpass it. When, I don't know. There's my hot take.
Yeah,
well,
I do think some
a
of those
hot take, by the way, Seth, while you were
I was just gonna say I know some of those 180s.
sorry, Cursive. While Seth was giving his wisdom, I will say that I was able to Google, and so what it's
Go, Scott.
Go ahead, Cursive.
I was just gonna say some of those 180s.
So I did
and
look it
185s
up,
are low.
and what
What's happened?
There's
I
a
believe
little
this.
lag on Scott, I think.
Freddie Freeman does have a great autograph.
Yeah, that's a
So
good
does
point.
Randy
Thank you.
Johnson.
Yeah,
Hey,
Randy
look up,
Johnson's great too.
Look up Richard Petty's auto. That thing's insane.
Yeah, his son Kyle Petty too
That'd be
Oh, it's
went
his
to the
son?
same autograph. Yeah, it's all loopy
Yeah.
and big, just like Richard's.
Like-
yeah.
Calligraphy.
Yeah, Daryl Waltrip, speaking of NASCAR, Daryl Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Sr. both have very nice autographs too. Tony Stewart does a pretty nice autograph too.
It's all these NASCAR guys with their signatures.
Yeah. I think Scott was getting to this,
hey,
and
text,
I just got to it. Yeah. I think Slappy's
Sorry,
having
go
internet
ahead. You
problems.
can bring it up.
Yeah, I sent a text message out and I ended up doing a Google search, but the Bernie Williams inscription is SDG, and it stands for in Spanish, "Glory to God."
Hmm.
So SDG is what that inscription is. Scott, is
Nice.
that what you were going for too here?
It was. That's what I was going to mention. I think that, by the way, I'm not having internet issues. I literally, what we did last week, we asked the folks on this panel to share with us their hits from the past week. So I literally had, because Seth couldn't control himself, like the cards he received or he picked up on eBay. There were so many. I literally had like 20 tabs open, and I think that was too much running the stream off my computer
Start
and then having
bogging down your computer.
Yeah. So just to let you know, there will be no highlights of your hits this week, guys. We'll bring it up next week. I'll put it in a compressed format.
You ruined it, Seth. You ruined it.
I take responsibility. It's fine.
Let me just ask you this. I closed all the tabs. Am I freezing anymore?
No,
No.
you're good now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
So-
Yeah.
This is the group that is buying everything on eBay from you. This is the group that's buying that unanimous Sandman at 113. But yes,
I just
Sorry.
want to say, it wasn't my
Pegasus,
fault that the awkward dance we just did. It was Scott opening too many tabs on Google.
Yeah. And in the comments, yeah, there's the translation.
There it is, Pegasus. Thank you. Thank you for
Yep.
letting us know.
All right. Well, so speaking of, if we're going to talk about glory to God, that's a great segue to go into cursive text.
Yeah, Cursive, you held a was it last Saturday? You held a charity break for a charity that's near and dear to you and your wife.
Yeah.
And,
so we
yeah,
did a
tell us about it.
A massive charity break on Sunday, the morning that I flew back from the Columbia Regional. My wife is working for Youth for Christ for the greater Cleveland area. And during the stream, she kind of talked about it a little more. They have a few different sections that they do. You know, some go into the school system, some go into kind of the juvenile system, but it's all youth based. And what's really cool about it is that's not necessarily 100% like religion based. It's kids are at the front of everything that they do. And so she has a goal for fundraising for every employee has. And we're able to donate $6,000 on behalf of her. So it's coming in from On Carter with Cursive, I think her company technically name is. So that was then given to her, and then she put that in her. So $6,000 to Youth for Christ Cleveland, based on a essentially hobby case break that we did, and we pulled some bangers. So that was massive too. She had fun and she got on camera for the first time, and so that was really cool.
And we saw her at the beginning of the show.
Yes, we did.
I was in that break, and yesterday I received my card, and I received a beautiful greeting card from Lady Cursive with a nice little note in it, and thanked me and telling me a little about the charity. And so thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's a very nice touch.
Yeah, I did not get a card or get taken to dinner. So my time was also donated free of service.
I'll send you a picture of the card so you can at least know what it looks like.
I know. I was like sad. I was like, do I not get a thank you? I mean, I feel like I put some stuff into this. But yeah, it was a good time, and the turnout was great. So I appreciate the community for that.
Excellent.
Anthony, I just want to say real quick, I think that's really amazing that you've done that. You did that. And it ties back to what a wonderful community we have here for Bo Jackson Battle Arena. So, I mean, I hear this for all the new people that come in. They come in and they're really surprised that everyone's so kind and generous, and they all help each other out. And that's really the case. And I say people come for the cards and stay for the community, which is the people that are up here and that we get to break with. And it's absolutely true. So bravo. Well done.
Yeah, great job. I think we touched on this maybe, I don't know, a month or so ago, but we know, we still got a little ways to go before Tecmo comes out. How are you guys?
But not long enough before the pre-sale. Sorry, go ahead.
Do we know when the pre-sale is?
No, my point is just we're gonna have to pay the piper before.
Oh,
April.
yes.
Start
Get
saving
those
them
credit
pennies.
cards ready. Yeah. But how are you guys finding product? Are you finding it harder to find product? I mean, I know it's always hard to find product, but how's it going? And we know, there's some big, Bazooka's a big breaker. They break a lot of product. Hobby Club obviously breaks a lot of product. Are you finding it harder and harder to find sealed product of hobby?
I will say
blasters?
hobbies have broken the $700 mark. There have been sales on eBay for a Griffey hobby box at $700, including fees and everything like that. Those are definitely $700+ boxes now. So I don't know when we said that was going to happen, but I think it's sooner than what we said because they're already there.
Yeah, I think they're even.
It is dry as the desert. I mean, you see them pop up every now and then, and they're gone pretty quickly if they're under 700. But most people doing breaks probably got their product a long time ago.
Okay, so that's kind of what I was getting at. Do you guys have enough product to be able to get through to Tecmo?
I know I do, but I do see some other breakers that aren't on the panel that have been in Facebook recently and been in Discord that are like, hey, like buying sealed product right now. So I know some people are going to be struggling with it. I think February is going to stay pretty consistent, but coming March, I just talked to Big U the other day, and he's projecting that March is going to be a real struggle for some breakers with product. And so anyone that's kind of has product sitting to fill all the way to April might be sitting alone for a little bit, or at least, thinned out. Unless we see a bunch of blaster breaks, that could happen.
Do you think we see prices kind of spike in the next month, like get up to maybe close to $1,000 for a hobby?
Yeah, I'm already on record saying we eclipsed the 1,000 mark, and I stand by that statement. So most of the breakers I know that I connect with, we tried to buy as much as we could early on to kind of get us there. It's going to be close. I might make it by the skin of my teeth, but to answer your question, Tex, anything that I've been buying, it's been through other contacts, so people just I know within the community. And having said that, I am a smaller stream, and I do smaller breaks, so I don't need quite as much as even like Eric. Eric runs breaks much bigger than I do typically. So a lot of the bigger breaks, I don't need nearly as much as product as they would need.
Gotcha. All right, Eric, you said you think it's going to be a struggle to get through to Tecmo, or?
Oh yeah. If we're talking 2 months until Tecmo, yeah, if people didn't have product before, you're going to see a lot less breaks. I think you'll see more double megas and blasters and breaks versus hobby boxes. But yeah, I think there's still people bought a lot at the beginning, and then some people get allocations, so there's that too. But there's not much to be found on the open market.
Are blasters and double megas still showing up in retail? Or has that pretty much been depleted?
I haven't seen double megas at all. I know that the blasters we're getting out, but the double megas I think are pretty much dried up.
So
there's
these
a
blasters
lot at Dick's. So several Dick's have a good amount of blasters in store.
Do you guys remember when the team was saying, I don't think this is going to sell out that quick with the blasters through Star City? And then in no time, D-Gen's going to D-Gen that are Bo Jackson Battle Arena community. And they bought up that stuff as fast as it was loaded. It was incredible.
Slappy, how many do you have sitting in your cart right now?
No, what I did is I wanted to show the people watching that the max you can buy is 16. So I pushed it up to 16. So the most you can spend is about $750 if you want to, but you can just go back and order. another one. And it's
Yeah.
so just for folks watching this, again, this is Good Morning Bo. We're talking about Bo Jackson Battle Arena, the newest and the hottest sports card. We have a panel of experts, Anthony from Cursive Breaks. We've got Eric, Mr. Hop from the Card Society, Tex Hooper, the host. We've got Seth, mainly Breaks. Longta, you might know him in the community. I'm Slappy White, talking about Bo Jackson Battle Arena, talking about the scarcity of product. So, of course, the last release to come out was the Griffey set. And yes, Ken Griffey Jr., he signed for this. He was the signed athlete to be the cover athlete for the set. It came out at Thanksgiving. The next set is the special Tecmo edition, which will come out in April. So as product has dried up, there are a few places you can still get it. Dick's has probably, I've heard the team say that there might be about 5 to 10% of their allocation still left at Dick's of blasters. I haven't heard any reports like they were saying of the double megas, but right now you can still get blasters at Star City Games. I'll put the URL in the chat right now. But what happened is there was a sale on Wednesday where they ended up, there was a sale on Wednesday where they loaded all this product and they offered half of it at $45. Now, there was no MSRP for this product, and that's one thing to be clear. The team did not set an MSRP like they did on previous sets. People refer to that all the time because it's a generally accepted price, but that's not accurate. It's just kind of what we think it should be, or it's what Dick's and Target are doing, so we just accept that as the MSRP. So Dick's has the blasters at $39.99, and what Star City Games did is they said they would do it close to retail. So they did it at $45, but they said they were only going to do half. And then the other half, they were going to do at market rate. Well, if you go to eBay, you're paying $60 for a blaster. So that's what they did. They sold the half. And to Seth's point is that it sold out. I think, Tex, you and I were with Gen Con talking after the show, and it took about 20 minutes, I think, which
20, 25 minutes.
So in the world of Bo Jackson Battle Arena, that's long because usually it's 5 or 10 seconds. For a big cardboard, selling out half your blaster product in 20 minutes is something they would dream about. But so, Tex, I'm curious what the panel thinks about these. The blaster boxes are the only one that haven't done the Golden Cross, where the 30-day moves above the 90-day average. So the blasters are still lagging behind. And again, $60 is 50% above where you could get it at Dick's if you can find it at Dick's. So understandable why it hasn't appreciated more in value. You've got the Alpha Update blasters that are selling now every couple of days for $100. And this is still at 60. So I'm curious, when do we think this Griffey blaster inventory sells out of Star City Games at $60 a piece?
I don't know.
It'll go next couple weeks. Somebody will buy a lot of them and do a 64 blaster break.
Is that going to be you, Eric? You going to buy multiple accounts?
I'll let you know how I feel.
With authority, he said that.
Yeah,
that was a big no.
Well, he was clear on his thoughts about having them in a break earlier. Yeah, that's a good question, Slappy. You know, I mean, $60 is still reasonable for a blaster. You get good stuff, and it's a fun rip. I got to imagine, for the folks that can't find it at their local Dick's, they'll be happy to buy it $60. I mean, maybe a week. That's my guess.
And that's Dick's Sporting Goods.
Thank you.
Clarify.
We'll say little DSG.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
The YouTube algorithm.
So if you guys haven't checked,
sir,
I was going to say real quick, SCG actually shipped their product out. So anyone that got the hobbies and lucky enough to get a jumbo, I just checked while we're live, and it actually shipped, and I'll be getting my stuff tomorrow. So excited.
Well, and for people who are watching us live on Friday, February 6th, just to let you know, after what Cursive said, I also checked, and none of my product has shipped, my jumbo or my blasters. So if you're like Cursive,
that's a shame,
who has a horseshoe stuck up his butt, then you're going to get your product. If you're me, then you're not getting your product. So still awaiting fulfillment.
So Seth, I think Quick is blowing up your spot in the comments here, but what is this about you buying hobby boxes at a gas station?
Yeah, true story. So reminder, Quick and I, we went to high school together. I've known him for a long time. Anyway, so he's literally been calling people across the country trying to find product. And it so happened there was someone that I met him at a card show. He told me he wasn't getting any. I'm like, fine, whatever. He wound up getting some. Quick let me know. Turns out the dude lives in the same town. I met him at the gas station, at the dumpster, cash in hand, and me and Quick got a handful of boxes. So it's true.
A handful of what?
Hobby boxes.
Okay.
Not a head. Keep the mind out of the gutter, folks. Okay. I know we were talking earlier, but no. You got 3
Slabby,
hobby
you usually yell at me for stuff like that.
He set it up. So by the dumpster. I mean, geez.
I tee that up right for you.
Yeah.
Real sketch.
Yeah. That's your new name, actually. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, that's too funny. I think we've pretty much peaked. We've reached an hour. This has been a great show. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's been another great Good Morning Bo. Thank you, Slappy. This has been Radish Digital.
Wait, hold on.
But before we go,
Yeah.
I'm getting to it.
All right.
When is everybody, Seth, when is your next break?
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to leave town for the weekend, so I'm not going to be able to do my Super Bowl show. But we'll be back next Sunday, 6:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have some fun. Join us.
Excellent. Eric, what do you have coming up?
Yeah, tomorrow morning, same time, 9:30 Eastern, single show. You can get some low end, get some high end, fill your deck needs out. Have a good time. It's a great, just everyone wakes up, hangs out, talks boba. Even if you're not buying anything, just jump in the comments and let's talk sports. Let's talk Battle Arena and hang out for about an hour or so.
Perfect. Cursive, what do you got on tap?
Yeah, so I'm sticking to the regular schedule of this Monday morning break, power break, going over some news and stuff. So realized I called it, Monday morning and then was going at 2 p.m. So we're going to adjust it a little bit and do it at like 9:30 a.m. to make sure that it is actually a morning show. But it's been great. I've done 2. The first one, we did a Pink Hex 101, and the second show, we pulled the Bojack. So trying to keep that luck going. So if you guys are up early on Monday, come hang out.
It's morning somewhere at 2 p.m.
There you go.
True.
Giving West Coast some love.
Slappy, does that cover it?
I believe it does. Other than we want to thank Claudiac for hopping in, and Claudiac says, "I thought Bo Burnham will be on here because of the title. What did I walk into Kings?" So I had to look up. Tex, do you know who Bo Burnham is?
I do. He's a comedian.
Yes. So he'll be on next week.
Excellent.
Can't
wait.
His price guide. We get him there.
Yeah. With Bo Gorilla.
Yeah.
Hey, and so you want to know what? I like that idea. I got to get a poll up at radishdigital.com. I think somebody on the stage mentioned it, but we're going to give Julio the credit for Bo Rilla and Bo Congo. And then we're going to give Bo Grilla, I think might have been Aaron.
Eric gets the credit. Eric said it.
Yeah.
No, that's what I
Eric
said.
gets the-
So this brings me around. We have to give credit to the guys, the audience first. If an audience parrots Eric, I'm going to give the audience member the credit. And that's the most important person we want to thank, because thank you for subscribing to Radish Digital on YouTube. If you want content like this, make sure you go and check all the other shows. We're actually doing 3 shows a week about Bo Jackson Battle Arena. So you definitely want to catch all the content that's going on. So that's 3 regular shows in addition to What's It Worth, which drops all the time. Eric said it.
Eric said it. I think we need to go back and sync up the
tape.
time code
exactly.
between
I'm
the
with
chat
you.
and
You got to get.
see who said it first.
We are the viewers are the show. I'm with you, Slappy. That's a smart move.
I would
Eric,
agree.
we give Eric enough love. I mean, we just sit here and open it.
Where's my jumbo for that?
Yeah.
Not coming for me.
Hi, everybody. It's been a great show. Thank you, and we'll see you all next week.